Here at the International Canoe Federation's first World Cup of the season. This is what it's all about. This is the action end of the weekend, and we have got some great racing. We're up to the quarterfinals already in this exciting, well, I'm going to say new event because it's new on the Olympic calendar. It's been around for a couple of seasons now, though. We've got some seasoned performers, and already today we've seen some big names fall by the wayside. It's a tough task now as an Olympic event to get through to the next round. Who will make it through today to be our first gold medalist of the season? I'm super excited today. My name's Ross Solly to bring to you in the commentary box a two-time under-23 kayak cross world champion, Nikita Setchel. Nikita, thank you so much for joining us.
It's nice to be here.
You didn't make it through today. It's a tough course. It's a long course here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely very long, a lot longer than previous years and other races we've done. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes through the rounds.
Does it make it tougher when there is, I mean, for some of the sprinters, I'm sure having a little bit of extra room is good, but it's a long way from the top to the bottom. Let's just have a look before you answer that, though. Let's have a look at last season. Let's recap what happened. Of course, Jessica Fox was the world champion here on this very course in Augsburg. She's not here today. She's pulled out. Mallory Franklin was the World Cup's winner. She was reluctant to do the kayak cross at first and then ended up being the overall World Cup's winner. Jess Fox ranked #1 in the world and really took to it with aplomb. And a lot of other good paddlers, though, last year who... Eva Terschel, we'll see her in action very, very soon. It's a sport which has really grown, and more athletes are doing it now because, well, one, it's exciting, but two, also there's a chance to compete at the Olympics. Nikita, yeah, we're talking about the length of the course. Maybe suits the sprinters, but it's a tough endurance event now, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. You're going to have a lot of fitness to keep it going at the end of the course.
Are you surprised by some of the names that are missing? Let's have a look first of all. There's your start list for the first quarterfinal. There's Ricarda Funk, Veronika Votova, I think a former world champion in the first semi-final, first quarterfinal. Sorry. A lot of athletes from all over the world who have already competed in one, maybe even two races this weekend. It's still a pretty quality field, isn't it, in the women's?
Yeah, it's still a really good, strong field, but just missing a few boats from the top now.
So, this is Veronika Votova here, former world champion from the Czech Republic. And she will be very hard to beat. She's very good at this event. Also in this field, Angel Hook, who was so excited to win her first senior World Cup medal earlier this weekend. What sort of confidence will that give for her coming into this event? Quarterfinals, of course. This young lady needs no introduction. Ricarda Funk, she's an Olympic champion in the K1. She's a world champion in the K1. Had a bit of disappointment in her final. Didn't win a medal 2 days ago, so she'll be out for revenge. And Klaudia Zwolinska. It's a packed first quarterfinal, Nikita. Yeah,
it's a strong quarterfinal going through. It'd be interesting to see how it battles it out.
And being a world champion, Olympic champion as Ricarda is, doesn't necessarily equate to being a great kayak cross paddler, does it?
No, you definitely see she's got the pace, but it's all with the contact to see how it goes.
And we're underway. So you can see there the colours of the bibs. You can see Vojtova is green, Hook is the yellow, Funk the red, and Zwolinska is the blue. And straight away it is Ricarda Funk who's gone out fast to take an early lead. But it all comes down to the first. Here we go. They've got to go around these boys, and it comes down to a split decision which side you take. So we've got 2 and 2 going around at the moment. A little bit of congestion there, as is always the way. But coming through from that first corner, it looks like it's Zwolinska. No, it's Vojtova. And Funk in the front. Funk leading from Puck at the moment. So it's Germany from France. The compulsory roll. Oh, a little bit of contact there with the boat coming over the top of Ricarda Funk, I think. So there she is in the lead, the Olympic K1 champion, leading from the green of Vojtova, the former world champion in this event. They go to different sides of the course. Oh, problems there for Vojtova. She gets around now at the moment, though. She's going to turn a clear second. First two will go through to the semi-finals. Ricarda Funk, she's managed to stay out of trouble, which, Nikita, is the important thing, isn't it? You've got to try and stay clean and just keep away from all the traffic.
Yeah, she's got a decent lead now, so can ease off to just save her energy for the other rounds now.
What's your thoughts about the tactics? Some athletes say it's better to go in late into those first upstreams because you can push the other boats out of the way. Others try and get there early and get around before the rest arrive. What do you think?
It's all dependent on the upstream. Sometimes it's better to come in second and take the easy overtake, but in Augsburg I'd say it's quite narrow and it's quite hard to get an overtake here.
So it would be better to get there early, you think, get off the starting gate and get to the gates first?
Yeah, majority of the time on this course I would say so.
So there we have confirmation. Ricarda Funk and Veronika Vojtova through to the semi-finals. We saw there there's you have a split second to make a decision which side of this course you go to, and Ricarda Funk choosing well there. Good start. So quite a decent drop, isn't it? At different courses the drop is at a different height, but it's quite a decent drop here, isn't it, for the start?
Yeah, it's one of the bigger drops, but it's nice being an automatic ramp. Everyone goes at the same time, and it's into fast water, so it feels quite good.
So we saw there, it looked like Claudia Zwolinska maybe didn't go around properly around her buoy, so that is an automatic disqualification for her, unfortunately. It didn't come up as a disqualification. Doesn't matter, she finished fourth anyway, so she won't go through to the next round. Ricarda Funk and Veronika Vojtova are through to the next round. So our second quarter-final. And our commentator from yesterday, Monica Doria Villarubla from Andorra, is in the prime position. Where's the best place to be at the start, do you think? Nikita, on the outside or stuck in the middle?
Personally here, I don't think it's the outside lanes. I think you get either pinned on the wall or pushed out left. For me, I'd prefer to go in the middle here, but it changes course to course.
So we saw Eliska Mintalova from Slovakia. Alongside her Slovakian teammate, Zuzana Pankova, and then Anna Satila, who is one of the fiercest competitors with kayak cross. She takes no prisoners when she's out on the water. We saw last year she had a big crash with a couple of the paddlers. We remember some ribs were a bit sore afterwards. But that's the racing, isn't it, Nikita? It comes with the turf.
Yeah, it's a contact sport, just trying not to be for the ribs or the face, but yeah, you've got to accept it. It's
already we're seeing there a bit of jostling. So that is Anna Satila on the right of your screen. On the left, it's Monica Doria Villarubla. As we go down now to the first of the boys that they have to go around, and it's 3 to one side. Nice result there for Doria Villarubla. She has the buoy to herself, which gives her a bit of clear air. It looks like Satila turning first around the second buoy. So Doria Villarubla leads from Anna Satila. Good battle for third at the moment between Mintalova and Pankova, the Slovakian teammates. There's the compulsory roll under the bar. Everyone's through clearly. You have to come up on the opposite side that you went over. So Doria Villarubla, Satila at the moment are 1 and 2. Bit of a problem back there for Mintalova. Oh, sneaking through. There's the experience of Anna Satila. She snuck under Doria Villarubla there to take over as the leader. She's a very experienced paddler. Like yourself, Nikita, she's been doing this since the sport started, and she's become very, very effective at it.
Yeah, she's really good at it, very fierce. Interested to see Pankova coming into second now.
Yeah, she's picked up. I don't know what happened to Monica Doria Villarubla. She got overtaken by Satila on the up gate. And it looks like she's lost a lot of pace there because Pankova, who was a little bit behind, has managed to sneak into second now. Although, Pankova has got a fault, as has Mintalova. So no need for Monica Doria Villarubla to bust a gasket here. She can coast to the line. She'll get a surprise when she looks up and sees that she has a Q next to her name. So what do you make of what we've seen so far, Nikita, of the course? Anything that the athletes would be watching closely, anything that they will take on about what might be the preferred side?
I think people will be looking at where they go off the ramp and the position, and whether it's ideal to go in first or second into the up gate 1.
Yeah, it can make or break how you attack that first up gate. So confirmation there, Anna Satila from Brazil and Monica Doria Villarubla through. It is a long course. And it's a long day. The athletes have got to do a lot of races. How are they going to be feeling by the time they get to the final? They would have done 4 or 5 stretches by with them.
think they're definitely going to be feeling it in the arms. You can see how tired they are at the bottom already. I think it's going to be a long day for them.
Luckily, they've all got a chance to have a long sleep on the drive to Prague this afternoon. You're not going to get much conversation out of some of these athletes this afternoon. So there you go. Monica Dori Villarubla, the only one to go around the left-hand side of the course and was a clear leader. Here's where Anna Satilla made her move. Look at that. That is pretty smooth, isn't it? Just sneaking under the Andorran there. Now, Villarubla lost a bit of time there, but no need, she wouldn't have known. But on the other side of the course, the two Slovakians having all sorts of trouble and both getting disqualified or picking up faults which ruled them out. Anna Satilla very happy. She hasn't had the best of weekends, which always makes the rest of the athletes nervous. She's got a bit of a fierce approach now. She doesn't like to go home without a medal of some sort, Nikita, from the weekend. Now, Teresa Fizarova, who last year copped a paddle to the face, I think, from memory.
I think it was a boat caught under her helmet and
That's
hit
right.
her eye in Prague.
And remember, she had a scar. She had a stitching on her face but she refused to not compete. She wanted to keep competing, even though the doctor said you want to keep look after this. But she's a fierce competitor. Teresa Fizarova, Eva Leifov, again, another athlete who hasn't had the greatest weekend. She'll be keen to do well here. Emily Hilgertova from the Czech Republic and Courtney Williams from New Zealand make up this quarterfinal. Are you nervous, Nikita, when you sit up there like this and you hear your name read out and you're waiting for the gate to open?
I think you start to feel like your heart racing, but especially when the heartbeat sound starts, that's when it, particularly the adrenaline gets pumping.
So, underway, the third of our quarterfinals. Fizarova, Leifov, Hilgertova and Williams, and it looks like Hilgertova, who's renowned as a bit of a speedster, is out fast. A bit of a congestion in the background as they jostle for the best position, but a really good start from Emily Hilgertova from the Czech Republic. She's going to go down first, but there's a three trying to get around one. That will never work. Look at Evie Leifov, though. She's snuck. Oh! Leifov's going backwards. There's no point in doing that. You've got to go around the right way. She's corrected herself, but I don't know that she went around the post.
I think she would have got faulted in gate one.
I think she may have had a fault there, but we'll wait for the judges. They'll go back and examine the video footage. Yes, confirmation there. Unfortunately for Evie Leifov. Oh, and we've got a spin there from Courtney Williams, who somehow managed to find herself in front momentarily, but did a spin there and is now out of the contest. So I think it's now Emily Hilgertova back in. Oh, she's gone a little bit early, but you want to get out of there before these boats turn up. And Courtney Williams is back there at the tail of the field, so it's Hilgertova still and Evie Leifov, but Leifov is disqualified, so it'll be Hilgertova and maybe Courtney Williams who will go through here, because Teresa Fizarova has found herself surprisingly, Nikita, at the back of the field.
Yeah, she just missed her opportunity in the last up to she went to take it on as a sweep but didn't quite pull it off, and that was her opportunity to overtake. And
it is a tough course to do that, isn't it? We know how fierce this Augsburg course is, so you've really got to be in the right position to nail that.
Yeah, they're not the easiest of eddies. There's either a lot of flow going through them or a lot of strong flow in the back eddy.
So, a bit of a shake of the head there from Teresa Fizarova. She won't be happy about that, but this young lady's pretty happy about it. Emily Hilgertova and Courtney Williams from New Zealand, who only just snuck through in the qualifying. She was one of the last ones to qualify. Suddenly finds herself in a semi-final.
Yeah, I think she was a bit shocked herself when I spoke to her, but I'm sure she'll be happy to go through.
What's the feeling like, Nikita, amongst the slalom community with this now being an Olympic sport? What's the feeling? Because at first, not everybody did it because some thought that, there's a chance for injuries and that sort of thing. But has the feeling changed now over the past couple of years?
I think it's still a bit mixed depending who you talk to. I think people are embracing it a lot more now. It's going to be in the Games for Paris. But you definitely see a few athletes still not taking it on. Maybe some of the older athletes that have been in slalom a bit longer, but I think people are starting to adjust to it now.
Certainly a lot of the younger athletes are really embracing it and enjoying it. I think it's the athletes generally enjoy it, don't they?
Yeah, it's good fun. I think once you get past the time trial, like the contact of the sport is a lot more exciting, and it gets the adrenaline going, definitely.
Now, I mentioned in the introduction, Nikita, you are a two-time under 23 world champion and going for a third title this year. I cannot believe you're still under 23. Congratulations on that. But going for a third title this year.
Yeah, it'd be nice to take the triple, so that's the goal.
I think that you will earn the right then to be called the greatest ever under 23 kayak cross paddler.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I think you will. Even 2 in a row is pretty good effort these days. So here we are now with the final of our women's quarterfinals. And there's Lena Tunissen from the Netherlands. I always like studying the looks on some of the athletes' faces, and some of them look really pensive. Stephanie Horn always has that same look. It's the same look. We're used to that. Stephanie Horn looks like butter wouldn't melt in her mouth. But once that start gate falls, she is a very determined paddler. Eva Terschel, who was really, really good in the heats earlier today, really fast actually, so I think she will be there giving this a good shake. And then Victoria Us from Ukraine, who's paddling as good as I've seen her paddle for a couple of seasons actually, in the canoe and the kayak.
Looking very relaxed on the start.
Doesn't she? Doesn't she? Well, given what Ukrainians have been through in the last 18 months or so, this will be a stroll in the park for her. It's been just dreadful for everyone from Ukraine, so great to see the athletes doing well here. Oh, a very slow start there for Stephanie Horn. She got left on the block somehow. I don't know how that happened. But out really, really fast again. Eva Terschel and Victoria Us. They will be the first two. Which side of the course will they take? Looks like Victoria Us going to the left. And Eva Terschel at this stage going to... Oh, she's changed her mind. She's now gone to the right, which has left Stephanie Horn all to herself on the other side of the course. And she's going to be able to sneak up now from last to second, because of the choice of course side that she went. So it's Victoria Us in front, Stephanie Horn second, Lena Tunissen third, and that was a dramatic change on that first up. So it's Victoria Us in front, Stephanie Horn second, and Tunissen third, and it looks like at this stage Eva Terschel finds herself at the back of the field, which is a little bit of a surprise, but we'll see. A lot can happen here, and in fact you can see at the top of the screen there, Eva Terschel has snuck through again, and now it's going to be a race here for the second position. I think that Stephanie Horn has somehow managed to get herself into the number one position, so she should be clear. There's going to be a battle for second though between Us and Horn. Victoria Us and, sorry, not Horn, Eva Terschel. So it's Stephanie Horn cruising down now to be the number one qualifier. Us is currently second, but Terschel is trying to reel her in. There's a bit of a race on. There's not a lot of... Oh, it's going to be close, but I think just through. They're saying a photo finish, but I'm pretty certain that Victoria Us got there first. How'd you see it, Nikita?
Yeah, I think maybe just about, but we don't get the view of the finish line, so it'll be interesting to see who took it.
That'll be a big finish from Eva Terschel if she's managed to sneak under Victoria Us's guard there. What a well-judged race, though, from Stephanie Horn. She had a terrible start.
Yeah, she just used the tactics well to go for the up that no one went for and put her back in the game.
It seems crazy, and Nikita, I mean, you've been out there, you've done so many of these races, you have a split second to decide, but it just seems crazy that three athletes will go to one side and only leaving one to go the other, and in that case, it just left it wide open for Stephanie Horn to come through. Yeah,
it's just so dependent on what other people do. You just got to make that quick decision.
It's hard to change your direction, though, isn't it, at a moment's notice? If you've set your mind, I mean, do you have in your mind when you're sitting up on the start block? See, look at this start here.
Ooh.
That is Stephanie Horn at the back there. Made an absolute dog's breakfast at the start. And you can see there, she's a long way behind already. And these three athletes, they're going alongside each other. They all decide to go to the same side of the course. There you go. Oh, Stephanie, I'll take that one by myself then. That's very nice. Thank you very much. And you can see in the background, three athletes trying to get around at once. It's never going to work.
Yeah, sometimes that's where it's best to hold back and see what's going on in front of you to make the best decision.
Yeah, I always have this theory. I've never done this race in my life, but I've always thought that if you can hold back and see where everyone else is going and pick a different side, and you can see there the tussle there between the two Olympians, Steffi Horn and Victoria Us, and in the end they were the two who held it together and are through to the semi-finals. So what do we make there of what we've seen in the women's semi-final? Some good racing, Nikita. Anyone impress you particularly?
I think Steffi coming back from being in last position to first, and there's just some good fighting out there, really.
Yeah, it's a good form to take into the semi-finals, absolutely. Now, the men, the reigning world champion is your countryman, Joe Clark. He loves this event, doesn't he? He's really embraced it with a bit of gusto. I think missing out on the Olympics in Tokyo put a bit of extra fire in his belly, didn't it?
Yeah, he's definitely one of the stronger athletes out there. He's got fast pace, and he just takes it on full force.
Yeah, he really, really does. The thing about Joe is he gets off at the start and gets a little bit of a gap between himself and the rest of the field. And then just, if anybody wants to be brave enough to take out Joe Clark, good luck. Here we are. Let's have a look at last season, what happened, and there he is. Joe Clark, world champion, won the title here, and you can see what that meant to him last year. Canoe-Kayak from the Czech Republic was the World Cup's winner. Joe, of course, finishing the season ranked #1. He picked up a couple of titles last season. Just really stepped into this sport with a fair amount of gusto. He will be the one to beat this afternoon for sure on the form that we saw this morning in the heats. He will be a very hard man to beat. Of course, there's plenty of other good athletes racing though, including Giovanni De Janeiro. We'll see him in the first quarter final. Got a couple of young guys as well, like Titian Catholic from France. And of course, Hannes Agner from Germany on his home course. He's been in good form already this weekend, so the home crowd will get behind him. And a lot of the athletes now are wearing getting more protection with the helmet. Nikita, are you still wearing the traditional helmet like this, or have you gone the full face?
I'm still wearing the traditional helmet. Don't quite like something in front of my face.
Yeah.
And, feels easier to see where I'm going, even though there's a gap.
Do you think once we get towards the Olympics, so that more athletes will try and, Ricardo Funk has the full, she was the first one to do it, I think, or one of the first ones to do. Do you think more athletes will go down that path?
I'm not sure. It seems a bit 50-50 whether people prefer it or not, so it'll be interesting to see.
And there is Lucien Delfour, another with the full face. Well, it's not really a full face, but just protecting the mouth and the chin. There is the possibility, and we have seen it a couple of times, that Pemble can get smacked in the face by boats. There's plenty of opportunity to do so on some of the ups. So 2 Australians in this, a Frenchman and an Italian. We're underway in the first of the men's kayak cross quarterfinals. This will be a real slug-it-out affair, and straight away it's the Frenchman, Benjamin Ranier, who is out in front, taking an early lead. Looks like Lucien Delfour being pushed out the back. So let's see what their decisions are. 2 and 2, that's much better. And it looks like a really good turn there from Lucien Delfour. He's managed to sneak through to move into third. It's Ranier who's in front though from Tim Anderson. Lucien Delfour and Giovanni De Janeiro at the back of the field at the moment, just biding his time, maybe waiting for the second up gate to see if he can make his move there. No point burning all your petrol up early in this race, but he's got a lot of work to do from the back of the field. At the moment it's Benjamin Ranier. Oh, Tim Anderson, what a good move from the Australian. So there's a race there between those two, Ranier and Anderson, and Delfour and De Janeiro, the 2 Olympians there going against each other. But I think a really good move there from Anderson and Ranier to give themselves a bit of clear water between themselves and the other 2 paddlers. So Benjamin Ranier, he's been out in front. He was really, really fast in the kayak on the opening day, the fastest qualifier on the course. And he's followed that through with some good form here to cruise into the semi-final. Tim Anderson, who was the fastest qualifier in the kayak cross, is also through. And Lucien Delfour and Giovanni De Janeiro will be able to start packing up their gear and preparing for the drive to Prague. What did you think of that race?
It was interesting. I think it was more open race with them choosing different ups, and kind of from the last up, I think it's going to be rare that it'll be an overtake towards the end.
Yeah, it's pretty hard, and it's too narrow, isn't it, for overtaking in the last little bit?
Yeah, and it's just such a long sprint that once you're ahead, everyone's quite good at sprinting at this level that it'd be really hard to make it up.
Yeah. So a very even start, although we then saw Lucien Delfour probably get pushed out the back, but then, as Nikita said, 2 and 2, which seems a much better way to attack it. But Giovanni De Gennaro found himself at the back of the field after the first upgate with work to do, and you've sort of got to rely on being able to... It's a good move from Tim Anderson. I thought he had overcommitted there, but he still managed to get the boy around. You've got to get your head around the boy, and sometimes it doesn't cooperate with you. Jan Rohrer from Switzerland, he's been doing the kayak cross for a couple of years now. Very, very experienced campaigner. The young man from France, Titian Castric, he was very good early this week and had some fast form in the qualifiers and the heats this morning. Lucas Rossi. The name, it's a fast name, it's a fast motorbike racing name, and now he's going to try and live up to that reputation. And Martin Duguid. So 2 Swiss. The Swiss have been very good at this. Dimitri Marx didn't make it through today, surprisingly, a former world champion. The Swiss really love this sport, don't they? I don't know why they're so good at it.
Yeah, I think they spend a lot of time training it, and they're very good at sweeping the gates, and it just gives you a big time boost.
So we've got Swiss on either side. We've got Swiss to the left of us, Swiss to the right. Stuck in the middle is Castric and Rossi from France and Argentina respectively, but we're underway, and it looks like Jan Rohrer has got the best of the start from Titian Castric, who's lightning fast over the water. This first sprint to the first upgate, and it's Jan Rohrer and Titian Castric. They're going to opposite sides of the course, and a bit of sensible. Oh, that was a good, wow, that was really smooth from Jan Rohrer. He got around there. He wanted to get around there before the next boat arrived, and he did so successfully.
Both the Swiss in 1 and 2 now, so
yeah.
I don't know what happened at the first
Not sure what happened to Titian Castric on the other side of the course, but it's Swiss 1 and 2, as you said, Nikita. Rohrer and Duguid. We're coming down now to the second of the upgates, and this is where there can be trouble. Oh, the Swiss decide to go on the same side. Not sure that will work, but it's at the moment they're fine. They've has there been a problem for Titian Castric at the back? He's got himself into all sorts of trouble, so I think he's out of the running well and truly. The 2 Swiss paddlers, though, they've got this under control. Jan Rohrer, and there in the background is Martin Duguid. They look over the shoulders. They've got this race to themselves. They're a long way in front of Lucas Rossi and Titian Castric. So Switzerland 1 and 2, and into the next round quite comfortably. No need to overexert yourself now. In fact, you can even go over the finish line backwards if you so desire. That's a bit cheeky. That's a bit cheeky, but that's okay. We'll let you do that because Jan Rohrer, you had a very good race. I just like the sense of enthusiasm you get and the enjoyment you can see on the faces of these athletes. Nikita, everyone just seems to have a lot of fun. And at the end, you know, it doesn't matter if someone smacked you in the face with their paddle or their kayak. When you get to the bottom, there's a good camaraderie.
Yeah, it's definitely, you see more enjoyment in the sport, I think, and I think it's the adrenaline from the start, really. And
interestingly, we were talking about this before we came on air about how when the sport started, and athletes were having to share boats, and I remember that I think it was the first year you won your under-23 title. Was that in Ivrea? I think it was.
In Tarsen.
Tarsen, yeah. And people were running the boats up for the finish to the top so that people would say you were jumping in and out of each other's boats. You can see how professional this sport is coming because a lot of the athletes now have their own boats.
Yeah, definitely. Last year there was a step up in the sport, and then there's been another step up with like the new Piranha boat coming out and other like the Letterman, and definitely more boats coming out, and they seem a lot faster.
What's happened there to the front of... looked like there might have been a hole in the boat. Let's go back and have a look at that. There he is, the reigning world champion, Joe Clark from Great Britain. He won a couple of titles last year. He's a fierce competitor. He will be very fast. Although, as Nikita was telling us, maybe being on the outside is not such a good thing, but he's got the speed to get away with it, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's interesting he chose that line from the world champs. He wasn't too keen on being far right, so it's interesting he's chose it again.
Martin Helsen from Slovakia. A new man on the scene. We haven't seen Vincenz Hartl a lot. And the family are all here. The family are all here to watch him race. So let's see how he plays out. And Callum Gilbert from New Zealand. Another athlete who's been doing this for a couple of years. Tell you what though, if you're drawn in the same heat as Joe Clark, you feel like you've got a bit of a tough battle in front of you. But we have seen stranger things happen today. That is Joe Clark on the left of the screen in the red bib. And we're underway. Let's see how fast he gets out. He will be going like lightning. There he is already trying to... Oh, going with him though is the German. And Joe Clark's got himself in a bit of trouble. Wow, look at the speed for the German. Hartl, we've not seen him before. And he has gone out to an early advantage. Chasing him down is Callum Gilbert. Joe Clark's in trouble. He's in big trouble behind. He has been overtaken on the bend by Martin Helsen. So Joe Clark has a lot of work to do. Oh, though, Hartl, the German, has run into trouble. He was leading early. He's missed the gate, and he's got to go back. Disappointment. Martin Helsen now first. Joe Clark, can't believe it. Somehow he's managed to find himself in second.
Yeah, I think with the German guy missing the gate, it just opened it up a bit more for the rest of the field.
So Joe Clark back where he feels most comfortable at the front of the field. That underlines, folks, the drama that can happen in a kayak cross race. That Joe Clark, who, Nikita, on that first up, I thought he'd blown it.
I thought it was game over, but there was more contact going on than we thought.
There really, really was. And look at him now. He's got space between himself and the rest of the field. So he will get to the finish and he will consider that he may have dodged a bullet there and got through to the semi-finals by the seat of his pants with a bit of luck going his way, because it was the German Hartl who took us all by surprise, flying out of the starting blocks. Martin Helsen crossing now second, Callum Gilbert third, and in fact we can't even see Hartl, the German. He must have really ran into trouble at the top of the course, but that's a good race from Joe. He'd be happy with that now.
Yeah, I think he'll be really happy. A bit relieved, I think, but it'll be nice to see him going into the next round now.
So he had clear air at the start. He was clearly in front, but he got pushed to the side, and there's Hartl there. So Clark confirmed first, Helsen second. They are both through to the semi-finals. Have a look at the replay in just a moment and see where it all went wrong for Helsen and Gilbert. But Joe Clark, maybe not the first into the water. And it was the German there in the blue bib who got away the quickest and actually managed to have a slight lead. Now you can see here coming down, and there's Joe Clark, and Helsen just sneaking inside of him, giving him a solid bump. That would have hurt a little bit, I think, Joe Clark. And there he came out of that in fourth position.
I think the German got the gate, but I don't know if he came in before the gate, but I thought he got it.
Yeah, it's strange. He turned around there and went back again. So whether he had some doubt in his mind, maybe he would have just been better off keeping on going, because as it turns out, it looked like he was okay, but anyway, that is what it is. Joe Clark, the reigning world champion, no doubt about his class in this event. Martin Helsen also through to the semi-finals. And Callum Gilbert and Vinzenz Hartl are the two who leave the competition at the quarterfinal stage of this opening International Canoe Federation World Cup for 2023 as we head towards Olympic qualifiers. And so now we'll talk about it in just a little while after the men's qualifiers, about how this all works for the qualification for the Olympics. But here is Vidkota Maricic from Slovenia. Alongside him from Brazil, Matthew Desnos. He'll be keen to make a mark here. Alongside him is the German Hannes Agner, the full face helmet, which a lot of the Germans seem to be favouring at the moment. And then another paddler from Switzerland, Manuel Munch. So the Swiss are well represented. They already have a couple of athletes through to the next round. So watch out for Hannes Agner there in the red bib, the German. He's already picked up a medal this weekend. He'll be pretty keen to do well here. front of a home crowd, and he's gone out fast, Hannes Agner. He will take an early lead into the first upstream.
Matthew looks like he's just holding back there to try and pick a line to overtake.
Yeah, good call. It looks like Munch and Agner go through on one side, and then on the other side it's the Slovak. Oh, what's happened there to Hannes Agner? It looks like he flipped the boat around and was going the wrong way for a little bit. Better to go downstream than upstream, Hannes, if you can. But everybody now is in unison, and it's the blue boat of Munch from Switzerland, again showing us just how much depth there is in this Swiss team when it comes to kayak cross. Oh, he's through safely at the moment, so Munch will go through first. It looks like Hannes Agner and it looks like Desnos battling it out for the second position. Kuda Marisic also goes through now, goes around. So Manuel Munch from Switzerland safely clear. Hannes Agner, after having a bit of trouble spinning his boat around at the top of the course, it looks like he's managed to correct himself now and has moved into a clear second. Third maybe to Matthew Desnos from Brazil. Kuda Marisic, but Kuda Marisic has picked up a fault, so he is out. Good race though for Manuel Munch from Switzerland, and Hannes Agner is through despite his problems at the top of the course. But gee, the Swiss are going well.
Yeah, they've got 3 boats through now, and that's good going for their country.
Really, really is. This is their sport, it seems, the way they're paddling at the moment. So we've had some good racing. We've had some very good racing, and we still have more to come with the semi-finals not far away. Now, I was going to say before about the qualification. At the World Championships in Lee Valley, that's when the quotas are allocated for canoe slalom, but in fact the quotas aren't allocated there for extreme slalom, are they? For kayak cross?
It is for, so the slalom boat gets the extreme space, but there's an extra 3 quota spaces in Prague in 2024 to go to the games. Yeah,
which is exciting. So we will convene in Prague in an Olympic year to determine the 3 last places for the kayak cross Olympic debut in Paris 2024, which is going to be incredibly exciting. And the interesting thing is, Nikita, of course, that in Paris, countries can have 2 boats in the kayak cross competition, which is good, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Because in slalom, in the kayak and the canoe, you can only have 1 athlete per country. So it's great to see that there is extra opportunities in the kayak cross. So there is our confirmation for our semi-finals. Look at that first semi-final, Nikita. Funk, Satilla, Doria Villarubla and Vojtova. That is a stacked semi, isn't it?
Yeah, hopefully we'll see some contact, and I think it'll be a good round to watch.
So Monica Doria Villarubla just eyeing off the opponents there. Maybe a bit of trash talking going on. She'll be pretending she's not. She'll be pretending she's talking to some of her support team, but in fact she'll just be trash talking the rest of the team up there to get inside their heads. Monica Doria Villarubla in the blue bib. Just adjusting the starting line. Are we still waiting for a boat, are we, up the top?
It looks like it. I think Anna Satila and Matthew Desno might be sharing boats. So I think maybe they're waiting for that boat to come back to the top.
Okay, because of course they are partners, so they can share a boat. I think that's quite nice. It's quite touching, isn't it? It's quite romantic. Who says there's no romance in kayak cross? Has anybody said that? If anybody has said that, then you're wrong, because Matthew Desnos and Anna Satila sharing not just love, but sharing a boat. You would hope that they return it to each other in good condition, otherwise it could be a very frosty drive out of the venue later tonight. So we're just waiting for Matthew Desnos to get out of the water, pick up his boat, run it up to the top of it. It's a long run.
Yeah, I think they'll be using the golf buggies to get it back to the top as fast as possible.
Yes, indeed, to make sure that it gets up there, because we're just waiting now for... Here it is. Thank you very much, says Anna. You could have got it up here a little bit quicker, but that's all right, I don't mind. There's Monica Doria Villarubla, made the final of the kayak on the Friday evening. Great to see her through to the semi-final. Next to her, the former world champion Veronika Vojtova from the Czech Republic. And next to her, an Olympic and world K1 champion, Ricarda Funk. Interestingly, she wore a full face mask last year, but she's gone back to the old mask this year, the old helmet.
Yeah, maybe she just prefers not having so much in front of her face.
I did hear some athletes say it constricts their breathing a little bit, and that some athletes don't like that when you're out there on the water.
I don't think it saves your face too much because there's still quite a big gap for the boat to come between. So I think it's just weighing up the pros and cons.
Maybe it's just a psychological thing. Right, now this is a quality field. There's going to be some pretty fierce racing here, and we're underway, and it's the two orange boats of Funk and Satilla on the right side of the course, Vojtova and Doria Villarubla on the left, and already we see Vojtova, a very experienced paddler, a former world champion, just getting inside the two Olympians, Funk and Satilla. So, coming down to the first gate, we have, Vojtova looks like she's changed her mind. They're late. 3 athletes trying to go around one, which means Doria Villarubla has some clear air to move through. It's Ricarda Funk who's chosen well. She's a clear leader from Doria Villarubla. It'll be Anna Satilla trying to chase them down. And Vojtova, the world champion, is at the back of the field at this stage. So it's Ricarda Funk in front from Monica. Oh, Doria Villarubla, what happened there?
Did Ricarda Funk just miss gate 3?
Oh, did she really? Did she go on the wrong side, did she? Okay, well, we'll wait for the judge's confirmation, so there could be a little bit to play out in this race yet, but look at that. Anna Satilla has somehow managed to sneak through. That is the experience of this young lady from Brazil. Ricarda Funk's second at the moment, but has she...
I think she just managed to go back for it, but that's how she lost the first position.
So we think she's still okay then?
Yeah.
Okay,
oh no, fault at gate 3.
Okay, so Ricarda Funk, well spotted, Nikita. Ricarda Funk not going around the gate properly, so a fault for her, which means Satilla cruising down to the line. The pink helmet of Ricarda Funk, I'm sure she knows that she's got a problem.
Oh, Monica.
Oh, and at the back of the field, it looks like Vojtova also has gone around the wrong side. So Doria Villarubla is going to look up and be very surprised when she sees a Q next to her name.
Yeah, I think she thought she would be out of it and wasn't fighting to the finish when she should have been.
Yeah, and that's a lesson, isn't it, for all paddlers here, because you need to make sure, even if you're coming in 4th position, we have seen races, haven't we, Nikita, where 3 athletes have been faulted. But that's a really well-judged race from Anna Satilla. She was at one stage well and truly towards the back of the 4-person field. So let's have a look. A pretty good start. Ricarda Funk got away nicely, but Anna Satilla on the outside of the course. And we see here going around this first corner, and it was Monica Doria Villarubla who would have been very happy to have the field to herself.
Yeah.
Now here's where she went on the wrong side, Ricarda.
Just caught the eddy line and got shoved to the right side of the gate.
Well spotted, and Doria Villarubla spun around in the back there and was going the wrong way, and all of a sudden was in 4th position. So she's gone from there to managing to get through to the final, which is a mighty fine performance for Monica Doria Villarubla. But well done to Anna Satilla. She is through to another final. Now move to the second semi-final. Amelie Hilgertova from the Czech Republic, still just 25. She's been around for so long. She was a prodigious teenage paddler, and great to see her back on the senior circuit this year. Next to her, the Italian Stephanie Horn. She's been to a couple of Olympics. She's a very experienced paddler. She looks like she's enjoying doing kayak cross. Victoria Us from Ukraine. Always looks happy. Always looks relaxed. What has she got up her sleeve? And Courtney Williams having to pinch herself there. She's got the Where's Wally top on. See that, Nikita? She's got the Where's Wally top on underneath, just to help people find her on the course. A lot of our listeners will have no idea who Where's Wally is. But look it up, folks. Google it. But we are about to get underway. Just 2 of these athletes will go through to the final. Hilgertova, Horn, Us and Williams, and we are underway. And Victoria Us got a great start, as did Amelie Hilgertova in the green bib. And Stephanie
coming through.
Yeah, oh, a little bit of a sandwich there, a Horn sandwich in the middle of the field. come down to the first of the ups. This is where the big decisions need to be made. Stephanie Horn out in front. She's going, oh, yep. Oh, in the head. Thank you very much. Ouch. Stephanie Horn copped one there, but she looks like she's okay. Stephanie Horn in front. It is Courtney Williams now into second position. In third place, Victoria Ulsen. Was it Amelie Hilgertova who struck Horn in the head? I'm not sure. We'll have to see the replay. Was it really? Yeah, it was a glancing blow. I don't think it would have done too much damage. Certainly it doesn't seem to have affected Stephanie Horn's pace. So Horn in front, Williams second. Oh, Hilgertova sneaking through. She's trying to make up a bit of good. Don't do it again. She's gone straight for Stephanie Horn's side again. Steffi saying, please stay out of my... Oh, and again, goodness me. Oh, look at this. Stephanie Horn could not get past Victoria. Also, now she's had to go on the other side of the course.
Will Amelie Hilgertova overtake now? And she
has. She has. Stephanie Horn has been through an absolute mixmaster on this race. She will be battered and bruised and will wonder what happened there. Victoria Ulse doing her no favours at all. But why should she? And look, who's at the front of the course? Courtney Williams. Snuck through qualifying. And, oh, look, Stephanie Horn's gone on the wrong side of the... I don't think Steffi's going to be all that happy with how that race played out.
She just chose to go to the
in
right
the head,
side.
she said. Who got me in the head? You got me right on the bonce. And where's Wally? Courtney Williams. That was dramatic stuff, wasn't it? Poor old Stephanie Horn. You got a feel for her there.
Yeah, I think 2 boats to the face, really.
2 boats to the face, and then she got around the last up fine, but then she had Victoria Ulse's boat on top of hers. And she was trying to go forward. She was trying to go one way, and Victoria Ulse was trying to go the other, and it was never going to end well. So let's have a look here. This is this. Ball right in the side of the bonce from Stephanie Horn. Thank you, that's the first time, but she was somehow in the lead and going really, really well. But then she came down, and it was the second of the ups where, look at that, Stephanie Horn trying to go forward, but she's got a boat in front of her, not in front of her, on top of her. How are you supposed to paddle when you've got a boat on top of you?
It's pretty hard by the looks of it.
Pretty hard. Oh, Steffi, we feel for you. Courtney Williams is thinking, oh, this is fun. We'll just stay out of the way, stand in everybody's line, and I'm finishing first.
Sometimes that's how it works with Extreme.
It most certainly does. Look at the makeup of that final. Anna Satilla, Courtney Williams. What do you think? What do you think, Nikita? You've raced a lot against a lot of these athletes.
I think it'll be a hard final. You've got some people that got medals in there. Anna's got medals from Extreme. So's Monica Villarubla. I think it'll be a good final.
I think it's going to be a great final. We've already seen the pace all of a sudden has lifted. The intensity has lifted. This is what kayak cross is all about. That last semi-final for the women. My goodness, there was some drama there. Now we move on to the men's, and we have 2 Swiss in this race. We have Jean Rohrer, who is very, very good in his quarterfinal. Just 22 years of age. Looking pretty relaxed, looking like he's about to have a snooze, actually. But you probably need to get focused a little bit, Jan. You've got a big job in front of you. Tim Anderson, the happy-go-lucky Australian. He'd be pretty happy here. He was pretty fast in the kayak earlier on this weekend. Benjamin Renier, now he has shown that he's got a lot of pace, the Frenchman. Just showing us his dental work there, very good. No, I couldn't spot any fillings there, so that's a good advertisement for French dentistry. And the French always look after their teeth. And Martin Duguid from Switzerland. Oh yeah, it's pretty tricky. He's worked on that. He's been working on that on the off-season. Just standing in front of a mirror, just doing the hand up and the hand down, seeing what it looks like. And I've got to say, he was rocking that move. We're underway in just a moment. This is semi-final number 1. 2 athletes to go through. Tim Anderson a little bit back there on the start, but straight away it's Jean Rohrer again and Martin Duguid. The 2 Swiss go out with precision like a Swiss watch. The pair of them out there charging down towards the first upstream. I think they're going to go to opposite sides of the course. Oh, Tim Anderson, you haven't gone around properly, my friend. Nope. You missed it, Tim. You had to turn back and do it properly.
Renier's in the lead.
Yes, the Frenchman, Benjamin Renier, is in the lead now. The 2 Swiss, Duguid and Rohrer. are fighting it out for the second position. Unfortunately for Tim Anderson, he's got a bit of work to do, but we've seen that this race can change. He needs to catch up though and put himself in the mix. But Benjamin Renier, no love lost there between the two Swiss, just a little rib tickler.
I'm not sure if Jan got his head in the gate then.
Yeah, that's something for the judges to do. Wake up, judges, you've got some work to do. Benjamin Renier and the two Swiss now, they're showing that they can fight this out to the finish.
Oh, yes. Jan got fault on gate 3.
Yeah, well spotted. Gee, good eyes for this, Nikita. That's why you're here. You've got good young eyes, not like my lazy old eyes that can't even spot who's who. But it's Benjamin Renier in front. Martin Dugut from Switzerland second. They will go through unless something radical happens here, because Jan Rohrer, unfortunately, has a fault next to his name. So good race from the Frenchman. He's got a bit of speed, hasn't he?
He has. He's seems good at picking which ups to go to and with the timing.
Tim Anderson, unfortunately, on the first up, had to go back and redo it. He went too early, and a lot can happen when the boats come together on those ups, and you can get pushed to the wrong side, which means you have to go back and do it again. So you'll be a little bit disappointed, Tim Anderson. But a couple of good races there from Benjamin Renier. I tell you what, he's going to give this final a real shake later on today. He seems pretty happy with the way things have been going so far, and why not? So a good even start. It was the two Swiss who got out the quickest. Now here's where Tim Anderson ran into trouble. You can see there he's collided, he's gone on the wrong side of the up. He's talking to it, he's telling it where to go, but it wasn't listening to him. And so he had to go back and do it again. And Benjamin Renier, he turned around here and he said, "What are you guys doing? Where are you?" And here they are. They were chasing him down, but Benjamin Renier just making sure that he stayed out of trouble. Bit of wrestling going on there with one of the ups. That's what you've got to do. You've got to. How heavy are they, Nikita? Are they easy to move around like that?
No, they're quite hard. They've got water inside them to weight them, and it's a bit dependent on how tight the lines are with how much they move.
It's perfectly illegal, isn't it, to use your paddle to knock it out of the way?
Yeah, you're allowed to use your paddle to knock it out of the way, but you can't take your hand off the paddle to move the gate or get around it. Okay.
So Joe Clark managed to sneak through the quarterfinal. Things fell his way after a bit of a dodgy top half. The third Swiss paddler, Manuel Munch, sitting there in the inside position. Hannes Agner, the two-time Olympic bronze medalist. Pretty happy to have the home crowd here giving him some support. And Martin Helsen from Slovakia on the outside of this quality four-man field. I can't imagine Joe will do anything different to what he normally does, Nikita. He'll go out hard, won't he?
Yeah, I think he'll definitely go out hard. It's one of his strong points, so why not utilise it?
He likes to be in front at the first up, which we've seen can work against you sometimes if somebody comes on and knocks you out of the way.
It's a fairly even start.
Yeah, a little bit. He's into his gear. So Joe Clark will head down. Look at that. He's already put a bit of space between himself and Hannes Agner, the two Olympians there going hammer and tong at the front, just behind them. Now let's see. Joe Clark is around safely. Behind him, it's Helsen chasing him, but Joe Clark clear at the moment. Although
he just got held a bit in the stopper.
He got stuck there a little bit, which has opened the door for Hannes Agner to move through into the. And a little bit of a jostle going on there for third position, but the crowd getting behind Hannes Agner. Joe Clark is over. Now Munch is over as well. So good race at the moment for second. It's I think everyone's okay. A bit of battering going on there with the paddle. That's all right. Perfectly legal.
All three choosing to go to the up left.
Yes, which Joe Clark's got trouble. He's got trouble. Look at him. He's on the outside. He's got to get around these two athletes. That is a mess. Joe Clark is in trouble. Can he get in front of Martin Helsen? I don't think he can.
I'm not sure if Martin Helsen could do what he did in the up or whether it would be a fault. He took the hand off the paddle, but he didn't touch the pole with his hand, so I'm not sure.
Well spotted, Nikita. That is something for the judges to look at. That will throw a complete spanner in the works here if he is disqualified. Joe Clark trying to chase him down. At the moment, you'd think Clark will be a little bit disappointed, but let's just wait and see what the judges say. But Hannes Agner, no doubt about him, he is through. He is through, but what are the judges going to say? Maybe we'll see a replay and you can talk us through it, Nikita, what you saw. But so you think that he took his hand off the paddle?
Yeah, which I thought was a rule break, but apparently it's not.
Well, he's got a Q next to his name. Maybe we'll have a look at the replay and see if we can spot what happened there and if there is a problem, because... So Joe Clark away fast in the light blue boat. And everything was going okay there. It was the second up where there was 3 boats trying to get around. No, that was the race before. Wrong race. That's the last race. So there's no point watching that one because we've seen that race. We're trying to see... we're looking at... now this is...
In the yellow.
In the yellow. Let's have a look. Let's have a look what he's done here. He's...
See here, he'll just...
Let's see.
Takes
Oh!
his hand
Oh!
and he touches the pole.
And he's touched the pole.
So that is a fault.
Oh, come on. What has happened? Well spotted, Nikita. That is interesting. Well, great work by our camera operator as well to catch that. So is that a fault? Nikita thinks it might be. Nikita thinks it might be a fault, and she's a 2-time under-23 world champion, folks. So what Nikita says goes. Let's see if the judges now go back and have a look at that. But this is very, very interesting. Have we got a late decision? A late decision here for Martin Helson, which would mean that Joe Clark would go through.
It looks like it's stuck, but I think they might have made a wrong decision there.
Oh my goodness. Have we got controversy on the first afternoon of the Canoe-Kayak Cross finals? We now have confirmation in the headset that Martin Helson has been disqualified. Well spotted. Well spotted, Nikita Setchel. That is a great spot. Wow. That is a great spot by you. So a confirmation just coming through in the headset now. We haven't seen it on the screen yet, but confirmation that Martin Helson has been disqualified. He originally got the Q next to his name, but as Nikita spotted, he took his hand off the paddle and pushed it with his hand, and that means disqualification, which means Joe Clark, who must have been really, really disappointed thinking he wasn't going to make the final. I hope he thanks you. I hope Joe Clark better buy you a drink tonight for the drive to Prague, Nikita, because you've managed to get him through to the final. Well done, you.
Yeah, shame that Howson took his hand off the paddle with he was paddling pretty well, but nice to see Joe go through.
It was a shame, but he got himself into a bad position.
Yeah, I think it would have been good if he'd just been able to knock it around with his top arm, but he didn't seem to do that.
Look at that. I'm being teased now. All weekend I've been trying to buy an ice cream. Nobody takes cards here, Nikita. What is it with Augsburg, with Germany? I've gone up and I've ordered an ice cream and they've said, sorry, cash only. Seriously? What year are we in? 1923? Anyway, doesn't matter. Ice creams are bad for you, and I'm not condoning the eating of ice cream, especially in the middle of a day when it's a beautiful sunny climate here as it is in Augsburg. We've been blessed. We've had some great weather this week, haven't we, for racing?
Yeah, it's been really good for this time of year, and I find myself sitting in the shade being a Brit.
Really, you need to get out, get a bit of a tan out there, Nikita. You've got a long season in front of you. You can't sit in the shade all year, you know.
I just turned to a tomato there instead.
Really? Oh. Then eventually it turns brown. Again, I'm not condoning that. I'm not condoning people sitting in the sun without sunscreen, but look at that. What a wonderful afternoon here in Augsburg. Beautiful course, beautiful city, beautiful old city. Have you had a chance to have a look around since you've been here?
I haven't this time, but I got a chance to look around at the World Championships last year.
It's a nice old city, isn't it? It's quite special. And of course, Augsburg has such an important part of our sports history, because it was back here in 1972 that canoe slalom made its Olympic debut. It was a once-off at that stage. We did not see us back on the program until Barcelona in 1992, and of course we will be going to that course later on this year, Liceo, which is one of the great venues for slalom paddling up there in the mountains in Spain. But of course, Augsburg will always go down as the home of Olympic canoe slalom. So now, Finals time. Nikita, you've had a very good eye when it comes to judging. Let's see how good you are with picking a winner in this field.
I think I'm going to go for Anna Satila or Steffi Horn. I think they're both very fierce, and I think it'll be a good fight.
One thing is for certain that Stephanie Horn got through, did she?
I thought she was out.
So Emily Hilbertova got disqualified.
Yeah, it would be dangerous paddling.
For dangerous paddling. So, wow, that
came on very late.
Came very, very late. We're not surprised, are we? Because we called it at the time.
Yeah, she hit the head.
Hit her in the head, which is not condoned, and then there was some other argy-bargy went on. So Steffi Horn battered and bruised, but there she is up there on the start line for this women's final. They're racing for gold in Augsburg, folks. Monica Doria Villarubla, Steffi Horn, Courtney Williams from New Zealand, and Anna Satila from Brazil. That is an international field if ever you saw one. And Steffi Horn is away fast again in the blue bib this time. On her outside is Anna Satila in the red bib. Those are the two possibly to watch. Although at the moment, Monica Doria Villarubla is also going fast. Courtney Williams is sitting out the back. It's worked well for her so far today. Why wouldn't you do it again? Oh, and there we go around the first bend. And again, poor old Steffi Horn. She is copping a battering, which means that it looks like it's the yellow bib of Monica Doria Villarubla out clearly in front for the Andorran. In second place at the moment now, it's the green bib of, the blue bib of Steffi Horn. Then follows Anna Satila and Courtney Williams at the back of the field. But Monica Doria Villarubla out in front at the moment. We've got one more upgate to go, though, and that's where there could be some damage done. Around this corner. Oh, big move here from Anna Satila. Big move on the inside of Monica Doria Villarubla. She's gone. She's going to challenge for the lead. Steffi Horn's Steffi Horn's in front. Chasing her down. It's Satila in the red. It's Villarubla in the yellow. It is unbelievably Steffi Horn, battered and bruised. She's copped it on all sides in this race today, but she is in front. She is cruising down towards a gold medal. She's got a bang in the head. She's got a bang in the ribs. She's carried a boat halfway down the course, but somehow she's going to end up with a gold medal. Stephanie Horn from Italy crosses the line now. Gold for Steffi Horn, silver for Anna Satila, and a bronze medal for Monica Doria Villarubla. Steffi Horn cannot believe it.
No, she's come away with 2 medals this weekend, and she should be proud of that.
Well, gets a congratulatory pat on the back. Hard to believe, isn't it, Nikita, given what she copped in the semi-final. She's probably still got a bit of ringing in the ears, but there she is, the gold medalist.
Yeah, I think well deserved from all the hits she took over the rounds, so she'll be happy.
Did she do anything to give herself an edge there? I mean, she found herself being pushed aside again on that first up, that time by Monica Doria Villarubla. But somehow, just that strength, I suppose, is what put her through on the stretch, on the stretches. Yeah,
I think she's got a lot of experience here through the years, and probably knows where the fastest water is, but she was also very good at picking the ups.
So, good even start. As we said, Steffi Horn leading into this year, so she's leading there. Doria Villarubla pushing her to one side, which pushed her back to second. As you can see on this side of the course, we've got Satila and Courtney Williams battling it out. So at that stage, Stephanie Horn was in second. Doria Villarubla had a little bit of trouble with her Eskimo roll, but still in front there. Now here's where the big move came. Villarubla pushed aside by Anna Satila, which gave Steffi Horn the chance to sneak out into the front position. And once you're in front, as Nikita said earlier, once you're in front at the bottom half of this course, it's very, very hard to get overtaken. So I think that's Steffi Horn's first kayak cross gold medal.
I think it is as well.
So she'll be pretty happy with that. Let's have a listen to Steffi Horn, what she thinks about her day on the water. That's not Steffi Horn.
Congratulations, Steph. How does it feel?
It's unbelievable because I never passed heats. So for me it was first time in the quarter, in the half, and now in the final. So it's...
How was the whole day from the inside? We saw you like banged on the head by a boat, etc.
Yeah, but I think it was physically really hard because time trial and everything. And also we had yesterday in the evening training at 7:30. So it was really
Thank you,
hard.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good point. It was pretty tough going, wasn't it? It's been a tough couple of days. It's a change to the schedule this year, just because of the way things have worked out. But we wanted to devote the last day of the competition to the kayak cross. But as you were saying earlier on, Nikita, it's a lot of racing on a very long course. These athletes will really feel like they've earned themselves that gold medal.
Yeah, definitely. We had a late night training session after the slalom finished yesterday, and it's a lot to go into a long course here, which is about 20 to 30 seconds longer than a normal time trial.
It'll be interesting to see once we get to Prague what distance we have for the course there. Now there's Joe Clark, who initially would have felt incredibly disappointed that he didn't get through to the final, but because of the very, very keen eye of Nikita Sechel, we had a late disqualification. Is that a yawn? I hope it's not a yawn.
Not
Benjamin.
sure if he's just showing his mouth guard.
He's showing us how good his mouth, maybe showing mum at home that, yes, mum, I've got the teeth protected. Hannes Agner from Germany, hometown favourite. They will all be behind Hannes Agner. And Martin Duguid. Let's see the signature move, Martin. Let's see it. Let's see it. Oh no, different move this time. Oh yeah, well, okay. He's got a few moves. I like that. He is Swiss after all. They have lots of moving parts. Like a Swiss watch. Yeah. Lots of moving parts and they all move in synchronicity. But we are about to get underway again. Joe Clark, who's raced every one of his races, has gone from the same starting position. How will it work for Hannes Agner? Got away to a good start, the German, and in fact he's going to be an early leader. Joe Clark trying to chase him down. I suspect they'll go to opposite sides of the course. Clark trying to be a little bit coy here, just hold him back a little bit maybe than what he would usually do. But Hannes Agner will go around first on this side of the course. Joe Clark bumped out of the way by the Frenchman Benjamin Redier and finds himself at the back of the field. It's Martin Duguid from Switzerland who emerges from the first upstream in prime position. We're going into the compulsory Eskimo roll. Oh, yeah, a little bit of congestion there, but they're all okay. So it's Martin Duguid from Switzerland being chased by Benjamin Redier. Hannes Agner is third. Right behind him is Joe Clark. Three go to one side, which opens the field for Joe Clark. Is he good enough though? Ooh, he's got around now. He's going to have to chase down Benjamin Renier. Look at the speed of Martin Duguid though. He's got a good line. Joe Clark trying to hitch a lift on top of Benjamin Renier. He's still trying to hitch a lift on top of his boat. But look at this.
Hannes Agner just having to go back for a gate now.
Yep, so disappointment there. You can see it. That's a way to quieten down the crowd. Miss a gate. Look at this confident race from the Frenchman. Benjamin Renier, yes, you can pump the air, that's okay, you're a winner, you're a gold medalist, he's pretty happy about that. Martin Duguid slips into the silver medal position, and Joe Clark finishes with a bronze. But Benjamin Renier, he's had a good weekend, and we were impressed early on with his speed, and taking that through to the final. What did you think, Nikita?
I think it was a well-deserved win. He's dominated through the rounds, and nice to go show it in the final. And I think that was Joe just pushing Hannes Agner the wrong side of the gate and opening up a medal opportunity for himself.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they will still they'll still be talking to each other at the end of the race. That's okay. But Benjamin Renier, he seems pretty excited. Look at that. That's Balint Vakassi. When you work for the ICF, there is no job that you cannot do. Good mouth guard, good paddling style, good gold medal for Benjamin Renier from France. Didn't get the best of the starts. He was probably the last of the four paddlers to hit the water.
Yeah, but just timed it well into the first up and got the overtake. From there on, it was his race, really.
So coming down here to the first up. And Joe Clark, again, I don't know that that's the right approach. Every time he's done that, somebody has snuck through on his inside. So maybe it's time to go back to the drawing board to work out the best approach for those up gates. And it was the Swiss paddler Martin Duguid who was looking good going up to the second upstream, with Renier sitting on his outside. So at this stage, it was Duguid in front. Now this is where the big move came. You can see Duguid in front and the Frenchman sneaking inside there. Look at that. That's the move. That is the signature move of a man on his way to a gold medal. 3 paddlers went to one side. Hannes Agner had a bit of trouble. Wrong side of the buoy there at one stage. But that is your signature move on those upstream gates, to sneak inside.
Here you see Joe pushing Hannes Agner the wrong
Yeah,
side.
look at that. Thank you very much, Joe. Says Hannes. Love your work. Good work. Let's have a listen to our gold medalist.
Congratulations, Benjamin. How does it feel?
Wow, I can't believe it. I had let my brain at the start because I was too tired, and I had big concurrent, big opponents on my side, and I forgot everything about it. And just go straight to the finish, and that's it. I'm here.
Did you train specifically for cross?
Oh yeah, a lot, because kayak cross is a part of our selection, French selection, and for the Olympic as well. So. Yeah, we gave everything for this new discipline.
Parfait. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow, isn't that great? Maybe that's the new approach, Nikita. Leave your brain in the sheds.
Yeah,
And just
maybe
get out
it
there and paddle without a brain. But yeah, just underlining, Nikita, there about the importance of kayak crosses for the French, for their selection process, and it's the same for your team as well, isn't it?
Yeah, we have it slightly differently. The first 3 boats go to the slalom team, and then we have a different selection for the last boat. I think the French, it was like intertwined.
So Benjamin Renier is our first gold medalist in the men's kayak cross for 2023. Our first gold medalist for the women is Stephanie Horn. What a great start to the season. Some big names fell early today. We've got new World Cup winners, both first-time World Cup gold medalists, which is great. It's a great advertisement for the sport, isn't it? The depth and the interest in this competition. And we're going to see a lot more happen between now and London later on this year, of course, and ultimately Prague next year for the final opportunity to earn those quotas for the Olympic debut of kayak cross in Paris in 2024. Lots of good racing, tough course, as Nikita said. I don't know whether it will be as long in Prague. I'm sure you're hoping it's not going to be.
Definitely hoping it's not going to be.
And then, of course, Tucson, which again, that's another interesting course for. It's must be one of your favourite courses, is it?
It is a good course. Depends what they do off the start, I think, with how interesting of a race it'll be.
So we're going to have now a look to see what the standings are after the first finals for 2023. But we know that sitting at the top there will be, for the women, Stephanie Horn, and for the men, Benjamin Renier. They will be our World Cup winners, our World Cup leaders after race number 1 of the 2023 season. A lot of athletes today will have a few bruises, a few aches and pains that they'll need to deal with on the drive to Prague ahead of our second World Cup for the season.
I think there'll be a few tired arms from the length of the course today.
I think there will be a lot of people sleeping on the drive, but a lot of people trying to get there early to get a training run tonight in Prague before the competition starts. Of course, Thursday will be first day of competition. And just confirmation now with our women's World Cup standings: Stephanie Horn, Anna Satilla, Monica Doria Villarubla, Courtney Williams, and then Veronika Vitova, Victoria Oos, Ricardo Funk. They're making up the top 6 or 7 on the leaderboard after the first round of competition. And at the top of the board for the men, Benjamin Renier, Martin Duguid, Joseph Clark, and Hannes Agner. Nikita Setchel, thank you so much for being part of the commentary. Thank you for being a judge. You picked up a few faults that I think the judges struggle with, so well done. Enjoy the drive to Prague.
Be a long one.
It's going to be a long one, but hopefully we'll see you in semi-final and final action next week. So thank you, Nikita. Thank you at home, wherever you've been watching our broadcast today. We hope you've enjoyed it. We hope you've seen an exciting sport that will bring you back next week to continue this journey to Paris in 2024. We've really enjoyed bringing you this World Cup this weekend from Augsburg.